Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a really big idea from a groundbreaking book, The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. So let's just jump right in with a question. You've probably thought about this yourself or heard someone say it. Why can't people just get over something terrible that happened? It sounds simple, but the answer is way more complicated and it's buried deep inside our own biology. To really get this, let's talk about a guy named Tom. He was a successful lawyer, a Vietnam vet. And from the outside, picture perfect. Great job, beautiful family, the whole 9 yards. But on the inside, he felt nothing, just completely numb, like he was watching his own life from a million miles away. And Tom's story, it really gets to the heart of a fundamental truth about trauma. It isn't just a bad memory you can file away. It's more like you're stuck in a time loop, your body constantly reliving the worst moment of your life. See, this isn't about willpower. It's about wiring. Okay, so this is really the core idea of the whole book. Traumatic experiences aren't just stories we tell ourselves. They leave actual physical imprints on our brains and our bodies. They literally rewire our internal alarm system. So it's not all in your head. It is, quite literally, in your body. So to get how this works, we need to do a quick tour of the brain. Think of it like this. Our brain has 3 main parts, and each one has a very specific job when it comes to keeping us safe. Right at the top, you've got the thinking brain, the neocortex. Let's call it the watchtower. This is the smart, logical part. It helps us make sense of things, use language, and see the big picture. Then, underneath that, you have the feeling brain, or the limbic system. This is our emotional smoke detector. Its job is to constantly sniff the air for any hint of danger and to sound the alarm by triggering our emotions. And way down at the core, the most primitive part, is the survival brain. This is the firefighter. It doesn't think, it doesn't reason, it just acts. It controls all the stuff we don't think about: breathing, heart rate, and that instant fight, flight, or freeze response. Now, when everything's working the way it's supposed to, these 3 parts are a perfect team. The watchtower in charge, talking to the smoke detector, deciding together if they really need to call in the firefighter. There's communication, there's balance. But here's the thing. An overwhelming trauma, it just completely shatters the system. The smoke detector basically gets stuck in the on position, screaming fire, fire, fire 24/7. It hijacks the whole system, keeping the firefighter on high alert, even when the threat is long, long gone. And the smart watchtower, it gets completely shut out of the conversation. So what does that actually do to your brain, being in this constant state of alarm? Well, when that thinking brain gets shoved aside, it messes with our ability to even process what happened. And that changes everything when it comes to healing. This isn't just theory, by the way. Researchers wanted to see it for themselves. So they put people in brain scanners while they were having a traumatic flashback. And what they saw, it was a game changer. And check this out. The part of the brain responsible for speech, for language, it's called Broca's area. It just goes dark. It goes completely offline. But at the exact same moment, the emotion center and the visual center, they light up like a Christmas tree. So think about what that means. You're flooded with the feelings and images of the event, but you literally have no words for it. And this science, it perfectly explains something we've known on a human level for a long time. When the famous journalist Ed Murrow was one of the first to enter the Buchenwald concentration camp, this is what he said. In the face of true horror, we often become speechless. And this right here is the whole ballgame. You can't talk your way out of a problem that your brain isn't even storing as words. It's like trying to reason with a blaring fire alarm. It just doesn't compute. So this leads to a pretty radical conclusion, right? If the problem starts way down in the primitive physical parts of the brain, the smoke detector and the firefighter, well, the solution has to start down there too. Yeah, this idea completely flips traditional therapy on its head. Instead of starting from the top down with talking and reasoning, with the watchtower, the book argues we need a bottom-up approach. One that starts with the body, with breathing, with movement, with just feeling. So the goal here isn't to rehash the story over and over. It's about creating new physical experiences right here in the present. It's about sending a message from the body up to the brain that says, hey, we're okay, the danger has passed, you can stand down. And only then, when the alarm is quiet, can that smart watchtower come back online and help make sense of it all. So what does this bottom-up healing actually look like in practice? Well, it means using your own body as the primary tool for recovery. The book talks about a couple of really powerful methods. First, there's yoga. It's not just about stretching. It's about learning to pay attention to your body and regulate those physical sensations of panic and fear. It's about learning to feel safe in your own skin again. Then there's something called EMDR. Now, that's a mouthful, but the basic idea is that it uses things like eye movements to help your brain access and finally process those stuck traumatic imprints, turning them from terrifying flashbacks into just memories. And the change can be just profound. Listen to what one patient said after an EMDR session. That's it, right there. That's the shift. It's not just a thought, it's a feeling, a deep physical release of shame and blame that has been carried maybe for years. So the big takeaway here is actually incredibly hopeful. Recovery from trauma is absolutely possible. Since the body is where the score is kept, learning to listen to it, to actually befriend your own body, is the key to resetting that alarm system and truly reclaiming your life. And that leaves us with a really powerful final thought. If our bodies hold the wound, they also hold the key to our healing. So what could change for all of us if we just learned to listen a little more closely to what our bodies are trying to tell us?